Good evening, you're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Farhana Sheikh. The MACC seized nearly 800,000 ringgit in cash from bedrooms during a raid on 2 Immigration Department officers linked to a syndicate that smuggled foreigners using a counter-setting modus operandi. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azambaki says that 60 individuals, including 50 enforcement officers, were involved in the operation.
During the raid, over 518,000 ringgit was found hidden in a luggage at a senior female officer's home in Pahang, while 248,000 ringgit was discovered under a mattress at a male officer's home in Malacca. These amounts were part of the 1.49 million ringgit seized in an operation that began last month. Additionally, 215 bank accounts, including 16 company and 84 individual accounts, 50 belonging to immigration officers, were frozen, totaling over 3.6 million ringgit. Azam said that the syndicate promoted entry packages to Malaysia via social media like Facebook and Telegram. Agents would contact immigration officers through WhatsApp to arrange entry dates for foreign tourist groups. Once approved, the officers provided a designated special counter for smooth entry.
The MACC has proposed that immigration officers stationed at KLIA Terminals 1 and 2 be restricted from using mobile phones while on duty. Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azambaki says the proposal follows a crackdown on counter-setting activities, which saw the arrest of 49 immigration officers.
Azam said blocking officers' access to mobile phones would prevent outside parties from contacting them. According to him, MACC had identified 11 problems and weaknesses involving the Immigration Department. Among them was a lack of internal control while officers are on duty, enabling syndicate agents to approach them easily. There was insufficient supervision over officers and inadequate monitoring of documents of foreigners, creating loopholes in standard operating procedures.
A member of Global Equine Service and Business Holdings was charged at the Magistrates Court today for threatening a woman to withdraw a police report lodged against the company. 39-year-old Muhammad Riza Makar pleaded not guilty when the charges were read before Magistrate Ahmad Afiq Hassan.
According to the charge sheet, the businessman is accused of threatening the 25-year-old woman at a parking lot in Putrajaya on September 9th. He allegedly threatened the woman by saying he knows the location of the woman's house, husband and family. He was charged under Section 506 of the Penal Code for criminal intimidation, which carries a penalty of up to 2 years in prison, a fine or both upon conviction. Separately, the MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azambaki said that no evidence of corruption has been found in the investigation involving GISBH, and they will not participate in the probe. On September 11th, police rescued 402 children from 20 welfare homes in Selangor and Negeri Sembilan linked to GISBH. Some of them were believed to be sexually and physically assaulted.
In other news, firemen have recovered the bodies of 2 Chinese tourists who were trapped in a car when a tree fell on it near Penang Peranakan Mansion in Georgetown. The 2, believed to be a father and daughter, were pronounced dead at the scene. The bodies of a man in his 50s and a woman in her 30s were retrieved from the wreckage at about 5 p.m. on Wednesday. The man was seated in the rear seat while the woman was found in the front passenger seat. A crane had to be called in to lift the tree, which roots were attached to a slab of concrete walls that came down with it. It was understood that the duo had finished the visit at the attraction site and were leaving when the tragedy struck. The driver of the vehicle managed to escape unhurt. The Penang Island City Council said trees have been reported to have fallen in over 130 locations in storm-lashed Penang. Meanwhile, the defense in the trial of the parents of autistic child Zain Ryan Abdul Matin will submit representations with the Attorney General's chamber to review the charge against them. The court has fixed the case for further mention on December 6th.
Meanwhile, Deputy Public Prosecutor Kalmiza Saleh informed the court the prosecution intends to call 15 witnesses to testify against the couple. The prosecution also requested for the victim's name on the charge sheet to be maintained, which was allowed by the court. She also said the prosecution has provided the defence 3 forensic reports, CCTV footage of the crime scene and telephone records. The court later fixed the trial date to start from January next year. Zain's father, Zaim Ikwan Zahari, and mother, Ismanira Abdul Manaf, were jointly charged in June with child neglect, which they pleaded not guilty to. They were charged under Section 31(1)(a) of the Child Act 2001, which carries a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit or imprisonment for up to 20 years or both upon conviction. On December 6, Zain Ryan was found dead at a stream near apartment Idaman, Damansara Damai, with injuries on his neck and body.
The Health Ministry is intensifying efforts to bring down sugar consumption in the country under its War on Sugar campaign. However, are the measures outlined enough to encourage behavioural change among Malaysians? Dr. Gita Apana from the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics at University Putra Malaysia weighs in.
To drive lasting behaviour change and substantially reduce sugar consumption, we must address this simultaneously. And this should include strengthening the public awareness campaign. So we should consistently educate them, we should nudge them from time to time. And it's not only one of campaign that's really effective, but it has to be, be done consistently at certain frequency. Expanding nutrition education schools so that children are aware from young ages, promoting healthier alternatives. So we have to suggest, to people that, there are so many healthy options out there, and this has to be done together with the industry people so that they can produce much more healthy options. And, this is the by default option for many people. Regulating food advertising, subsidizing healthier food such as fruits and vegetables is coming to your, probably answering your question. So when we subsidize fruits and vegetables, that can be, very much cheaper for people who really need it. And supporting community initiatives, for example, working together with people at the community level to reduce sugar consumption at the grassroots levels.
The current sugar tax is set at 50 cents per litre. In July this year, Health Minister Datuk Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad had pushed to raise the tax on sugar-sweetened beverages to 20% of the retail price.
The latest evidence, a nationwide study by researchers from University Putra Malaysia, observed a reduction in sugar-sweetened beverages consumption among adolescents before and after the tax implementations. And while these findings coming from a single study, people can say that, it's just one study that says, but it suggests that the sugar tax could be an effective tool in promoting healthier consumption habits, particularly among younger populations, which is sugar intake is a particular problem among them. And similar results have been seen in countries like the UK, Mexico, where reductions in sugary beverages consumption among adults were also reported post-tax. However, to achieve the lasting impact, a sugar tax should be part of the broader strategy, as I mentioned earlier on, and it should include nutrition education, increase access to healthier food options, and some other options, some other ways, for example, stricter industry regulations so that industry work along with the government on, producing or manufacturing much more healthier options for public to choose from.
We'll go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Apa signifikan dengan pengumuman ataupun berita yang keluar dari media China ini berkaitan dengan hasrat Malaysia untuk menyertai gabungan BRICS?
Kita mau dapat lebih banyak umpamanya pelaburan daripada negara China.
Kalau melihat kepada Akta Kanak-Kanak 2001, adakah kita terlalu lambat untuk melihat proses untuk meminda akta sedia ada?
Kita perlu ada penyelarasan. Kita tak mahu bekerja secara silo.
Kerajaan akan terus mempertahankan setiap inci kedaulatan negara dan tidak sesekali akan bertolak ansur terhadap sebarang tuntutan daripada pihak-pihak tertentu.
negara perlu mengurangkan kebergantungan kepada pekerja asing berkemahiran rendah. Pertubuhan Kemanusiaan Antarabangsa Malaysia MACC menggesa Kementerian Kesihatan menjalankan siasatan berhubung dakwaan kewujudan sebuah klinik kosmetik yang dikendalikan doktor palsu di Monkiara.
Welcome back. Israel's Mossad spy agency planted explosives inside 5,000 pages imported by Hezbollah months before they detonated across Lebanon. The coordinated attack on Tuesday killed 9 people and wounding nearly 3,000 others.
A senior Lebanese security source tells Reuters that the pages were brought into the country months ago. Separately, Israeli and US sources say Israel detonated the pages earlier than planned, fearing that Hezbollah had become aware of the plan. The pages appeared to be branded from Taiwan, but Taiwanese firm Gold Apollo denied involvement, stating they were manufactured by a Hungarian company they had partnered with. Hezbollah fighters have been using pages as a low-tech communication method to avoid Israeli location tracking, sources familiar with the group's operations told Reuters this year. Iran-backed Hezbollah has vowed to retaliate against Israel, while the Israeli military declined to comment on the explosions.
Japan's new Prime Minister will be formally elected by Parliament on October 1st, following next week's leadership contest. Polls suggest that 3 frontrunners are emerging from the 9 candidates vying to succeed Fumio Kishida as head of the Liberal Democratic Party in the internal vote next Friday.
The 3 leading candidates are Economic Security Minister Sanae Takaichi, former LDP Secretary General Shigeru Ishiba, and Shinjiro Koizumi, son of former Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi. The Conservative LDP, which has governed almost uninterrupted for decades, holds a parliamentary majority. This essentially guarantees that the winner of the party election will become Prime Minister. 67-year-old Kishida announced last month that he would step down after a 3-year term marred by scandals, rising prices and declining poll ratings.
The head of a Japanese sightseeing boat company whose vessel capsized in 2022 and killed 20 people has been arrested. The Japanese Coast Guard says Seiichi Katsurada was detained on various charges, including professional negligence, resulting in death.
The Kazu 1 issued a distress signal while on a sightseeing cruise to the Shiretoko Peninsula, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The boat was carrying 24 passengers and 2 crew members at the time. Despite search and rescue efforts, 6 people are still officially listed as missing. Authorities say the lack of survivors made for an extremely difficult investigation that took more than 2 years to complete. A government report last year found the Kazu 1 had sailed with an improperly fastened deck hatch, allowing water to enter. The report also highlighted poor maintenance, oversight and a lack of qualified personnel as key factors in the disaster.
The Netherlands' right-wing government requests for an opt-out on European Union new migration rules as it pushes for stricter immigration policies. This request comes in response to the newly announced government's plan to tighten border controls, introduce a crisis law to freeze asylum decisions, and permit forced deportations if needed.
The Dutch Minister for Asylum and Migration posted on social media platform X that the nation need to be in charge of its own asylum policy again. The Dutch request is likely to face obstacles, with Brussels already signaling that a withdrawal may not be possible given that EU member states, including the Netherlands, had in December 2023 agreed on a new bloc-wide migration pact. In May this year, the EU adopted the new pact, designed to share out the costs and work of hosting migrants more evenly and to limit the numbers of people coming in. It sets rules for the 27 member countries to handle unauthorized entrants, from screening for protection eligibility to deporting those not permitted to stay.
That wraps up AWANI Tonight. I'm Farhana Sheikh. Thank you for watching.